Like and subscribe now. This incredible story of justice and heroism will restore your faith in humanity. A Navy SEAL and his K-9 did something unforgettable. Don't miss this. When one act of cruelty led to an unforgettable act of kindness. Picture this. A young waitress working hard survived. A billionaire with no mercy. A moment of public humiliation that seemed to break her spirit completely. But then something incredible happened. A Navy SEAL and his military dog walked into that restaurant. What they did next shocked everyone in the room. What they did was caught on video and went viral. And what they did changed the life of one struggling young woman forever. This is a story about justice, about courage, about good people who stand up when it matters most. And it's a story that will give you chills. A place called Grace, a girl called Hopeful. The restaurant was called Grace's Corner. It sat on a quiet street in Portland, Oregon. The walls were decorated with family photos and handmade art. The tables were worn but clean. The menu had simple, honest food made with love. Maya Chun *** was 23 years old. She worked as a waitress at Grace's Corner, and she had been working there for 3 years. She was saving every penny she could. Her reason was heartbreaking. Her younger brother, Tommy, was disabled. He had cerebral palsy and couldn't work. He needed expensive physical therapy and medical equipment that insurance wouldn't cover. Maya's parents worked, but it wasn't enough. So Maya worked at the restaurant and picked up extra shifts as a housekeeper at hotels on the weekends. She hadn't had a day off in 8 months, but Maya never complained. She came to work with a smile. She remembered customers' names. She asked about their families. She was the kind of employee that made the restaurant special. The owner, Mrs. Grace, loved her like a daughter. On a Friday evening, the restaurant was moderately busy. Maya was moving between tables, taking orders, bringing food, refilling water glasses. She was tired but professional. Then he walked in. Drake Whitmore *** was a billionaire tech entrepreneur. He had made his fortune in artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency. He was 45 years old, narcissistic, and completely disconnected from how ordinary people lived. Drake walked in wearing a $15,000 designer suit and shoes that cost more than Maya made in a month. He didn't look at the restaurant's charm. He didn't see the care that went into. When Maya approached his table, Drake was already looking at her with contempt. "Are you the waitress?" he asked, not even looking up from his phone. "Yes, sir. Welcome to Grace's Corner." I can see what you are," Drake interrupted. "I'm wondering if you can actually do your job without messing it up. You look like you barely graduated high school. Do you even understand a wine list?" Maya felt her face flush, but she kept her professional smile. "I'll be happy to help you find something you like, sir." Drake set down his phone and looked at her directly, his eyes cold and cruel. "Here's what I want to know. Why would I eat at a place like this? The furniture is probably from a thrift store. The kitchen is probably infested with rats. And the waitstaff is clearly unqualified." The other customers were starting to notice. The restaurant was getting quieter. "I apologize if," Maya started. "Do you live in a car?" Drake interrupted loudly, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Or maybe a studio apartment with 3 roommates. Let me guess, you make minimum wage, you have 0 prospects, and you'll probably be working here for the rest of your life." Maya's eyes started to water, but she held it together. "Can I get you something to eat, sir?" Drake laughed. It was a mean, mocking laugh. "Give me something to eat? You? No, I don't think so. Actually, I'm leaving. This place is disgusting. I came here because someone told me it had character, but it just is poor people. There's nothing charming about that." He stood up. As he walked past Maya, he deliberately bumped into her shoulder. "People like you are the reason America is failing. You work in restaurants for people who actually matter." He walked out without paying anything. The restaurant fell silent. Maya stood frozen, holding her notepad. Her hands were shaking. A customer at a nearby table reached over and touched her arm gently, but Maya excused herself and went to the bathroom to cry. That's when someone unexpected walked in. Commander David Dave Harrison *** was a Navy SEAL who had just retired after 22 years of service. He was sitting at the counter with his service dog, a gorgeous black Labrador named King. King was a highly trained military dog who had served alongside Dave in dangerous operations across the Middle East. Dave had witnessed what happened. He saw the billionaire's cruelty. He saw how it affected Maya. And something inside him responded to that injustice. When a SEAL refused to stay silent, when Maya returned to the restaurant floor, she tried to act normal. But everyone could see she'd been crying. Her eyes were red. Her smile was forced. Dave watched her for a moment. Then he made a decision. He called Maya over to his table. King's tail wagged gently as she approached. "Hi there," Dave said warmly. "I'd like to order, but first I want to say something. I saw what happened with that man. I want you to know that the way he treated you was wrong. It wasn't about you. It was about his own emptiness." Maya's eyes watered again, but this time from kindness instead of cruelty. "Thank you for saying that. Can I ask you something?" Dave said, "Why does this job matter to you so much?" "I can see it does." Maya sat down for a moment, just for a second, needing to share her story. She told Dave about Tommy, about the medical expenses, about working multiple jobs to help her family. She told him about nights when she was so tired she could barely stand, but she kept going because Tommy needed her. Dave listened carefully. King rested his head on Maya's lap, as if the dog understood her pain. When Maya finished, Dave was quiet for a moment. "You're braver than most soldiers I've known," he said finally. "You understand something important. Real strength is about caring for people you love even when it's hard. That takes more courage than almost anything I've experienced." Dave ate his dinner. Before he left, he asked for the restaurant's business card. He asked Mrs. Grace a few questions about the restaurant and about Maya. Then he left with King, leaving a generous tip on the table. The next morning, something started happening on social media. A video appeared on Twitter and TikTok. It was a video of Drake Whitmore humiliating Maya. Someone in the restaurant had filmed it and sent it to Dave. Dave had posted it with a caption. This billionaire thought it was okay to humiliate a young woman who works hard to support her disabled brother. He thought her job made her less than him. But I've served with people who have nothing, and they have more character than this man will ever have. Who's with me if we show this young woman what real kindness looks like? The video went viral instantly. Within hours, it had been viewed by 1 million people. Within a day, it had been viewed by 10 million people. Comments were pouring in from all over the world. People were furious at Drake. People wanted to help Maya. Journalists started investigating Drake's companies. News outlets ran stories about his behavior. His employees came forward with their own stories of verbal abuse. His companies started losing clients. Investors started pulling out. But the most powerful response came from Dave. When a SEAL showed what real power looks like, Dave created a fundraiser for Tommy's medical care. He posted a detailed explanation of Maya's situation. He shared information about cerebral palsy treatment and the costs involved. He talked about how people like Maya work incredible jobs, but still struggle because the medical system is broken. Other Navy SEALs heard about what Dave was doing. They joined in. They shared the video. They donated money. They told their own stories about people who work hard and still struggle. Combat veterans started joining the cause. Firefighters, police officers, teachers, nurses, thousands of people who understand what real work is started supporting Maya. Within 1 week, the fundraiser had raised $250,000. Within 2 weeks, it had raised $500,000. People weren't just giving money. They were telling their own stories. They were saying, "I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to work hard and still not have enough. I want to help." Dave personally visited the restaurant. He brought King. He sat down with Maya and her family. He told Tommy directly, "Your sister is a hero. She works so hard because she loves you. I want you to know that people see that. People care, and people want to help." Maya's parents cried. Tommy hugged the dog. It was a moment of pure human connection and kindness. But the consequences for Drake were severe and swift. His companies fired him from his executive position. His board of directors demanded his resignation. Companies that had done business with him terminated their relationships. Investors pulled billions of dollars out as funds. Worse than that, Drake became a symbol of something negative. His name became associated with cruelty and arrogance. Memes spread on social media showing his face with captions about treating people badly. He was banned from several social media platforms for harassment. His reputation was destroyed completely. Within 3 months, Drake's entire empire had essentially collapsed. He was still wealthy, but his influence was gone. People wanted nothing to do with him. Meanwhile, Maya's life changed completely. With the fundraising money, Tommy was able to get the therapy and treatment he desperately needed. Within 6 months, his mobility improved significantly. Maya was able to quit her hotel housekeeping job and just work at the restaurant. For the first time in years, she had time to rest. More importantly, her story sparked a national conversation about workers' rights and medical care. Politicians started talking about healthcare reform. Workers at restaurants and hotels started organizing to demand better treatment and better pay. Companies started realizing that how they treat low-wage workers matters. Dave and King became unofficial ambassadors for workers' rights. They visited restaurants and hotels. They talked about the dignity of work. They reminded people that everyone who works deserves respect. What really matters in this world, this story teaches us something fundamental. Money doesn't make you better than anyone else. Character does. Drake had more money than most people will see in 1,000 lifetimes. But he used that money to make himself feel powerful by hurting people. And in the end, his money couldn't protect him. His money couldn't save his reputation. His money couldn't make people respect him. Maya had very little money, but she had character. She had integrity. She had the courage to keep working, keep struggling, keep showing up even on days when she was exhausted. And that character made her someone that millions of people wanted to help. This story also teaches us one person standing up can change everything. Dave didn't have to post that video. He could have finished his dinner and gone home. Nobody would have judged him. But he chose to act. He chose to speak up. And his choice created a wave of kindness that changed Maya's entire life. Think about how many people are suffering in silence right now. Think about how many people are being treated unfairly at their jobs. Think about how many young people are working themselves to exhaustion to support their families. Most of the time, nobody speaks up. Most of the time, the injustice just continues. But what if we were more like Dave? What if we saw injustice and decided to do something about it? This story also reminds us that how you treat people who can't help your career reveals who you really are. Drake treated Maya badly because he thought she couldn't do anything for him. He thought she was beneath him. That showed his character. Dave treated Maya with kindness and respect even though he didn't know her, even though she couldn't do anything to benefit his career. That showed his character. In our lives, we're constantly around people who can't help us, people who are struggling, people who work jobs that society doesn't respect, people who don't have power or influence. And how we treat those people is the true test of who we are, because anyone can be nice to someone important, but it takes real character to be kind to someone who has nothing to offer except their humanity. There's also a lesson about the power of speaking truth to injustice. Drake's cruelty continued until someone spoke up about it. The video changed everything. The documentation of the injustice changed everything. Because when people see truth, when they see injustice clearly, most people want to help fix it. Finally, this story teaches us that real strength comes from caring for others, not from dominating them. Dave is a trained killer. He's a Navy SEAL who has seen combat. He has real power. But the way he uses that power reveals who he is. He uses his platform and his voice to help people who are struggling. He uses his status to shine light on injustice. That's what real strength looks like. Drake has money and status, but he uses them to hurt people who are weaker. That's the opposite of real strength. That's actually the definition of weakness, using power to hurt people who can't fight back. So the question for you is this. When you see injustice, will you speak up? When you see someone being treated unfairly, will you do something about it? Will you be like the other customers in the restaurant who filmed but didn't act? Or will you be like Dave, who stepped in and used his platform to help? Because that's what defines us. That's what makes us truly great. Not what we have, but what we do with what we have. Not our status, but how we use our status to help others. Maya's story reminds us that there are still good people in the world. People like Dave who see injustice and act. People who understand that real strength is about lifting others up, not pushing them down. People who understand that we're all connected, and when one of us is hurting, we should help. If we had more people like Dave and fewer people like Drake, the world would be a very different place. Like and subscribe. This story just proved that good people still exist in the world. If this story of a Navy SEAL and his K-9 standing up for justice inspired you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to watch more stories about real heroes who make a real difference in people's lives. In the comments below, tell us, have you ever stood up for someone being mistreated? Your story can inspire thousands of people to be brave too. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss another story about courage, kindness, and justice. Subscribe now and join our community of people who believe that how we treat others is what truly matters in life.